In the reign of Seattle, Logan finds a hidden secret in a childhood toy that reveals his wife Maria's infidelity. Her plan was cold-blooded, to get rid of Logan and their daughter for money and power. But Logan is a former FBI agent, and his revenge will be not only personal, but also legal. Will he be able to protect his daughter and expose the conspiracy when the whole world is against him? Rain drummed against the windows of the King family's suburban Seattle home, a steady rhythm that matched the unease settling in Logan King's chest. At 38, the former FBI agent had traded high-stakes operations for a quieter life, but old habits died hard. His sharp eyes scanned the room, catching details others might miss: the faint scuff on the hardwood floor, the way the curtains hung just slightly askew. He sat at the kitchen table, a mug of black coffee cooling in his hands, the morning paper untouched. His wife, Maria, a rising star at Nexus Technologies, was away on another business trip, her third this month. Logan didn't question her ambition, but lately, her absences felt heavier, like a shadow creeping into their marriage. "Daddy, look what I found." The voice broke his thoughts. 8-year-old Emmy burst into the kitchen, her dark curls bouncing, clutching her favorite stuffed bear. Its worn fur was a testament to countless bedtime stories and whispered secrets. "There's something shiny inside, Teddy. It's blinking." Logan's pulse quickened, though his face stayed calm. "Blinking? Huh? Let's see this treasure." He took the bear, his calloused fingers brushing against its soft exterior. Emmy's wide eyes followed his every move, trusting, curious. He turned the toy over, probing gently until he felt a hard lump beneath the stitching. His gut twisted, an instinct honed from years of unraveling threats. "Stay right there, sweetheart," he said, keeping his tone light. He grabbed a small knife from the drawer and carefully sliced open a seam. Nestled inside was a tiny device, no bigger than a quarter, with a red LED pulsing rhythmically. Logan's breath caught. It wasn't a toy or a prank. It was a tracking device, sophisticated, with remote access capability. Someone was watching them. "Wow, Daddy, is it a spy gadget?" Emmy asked, leaning closer, oblivious to the storm brewing in her father's mind. "Something like that," Logan replied, forcing a smile. "Why don't you grab your coloring book? I'll check this out." As Emmy scampered off, humming, Logan's mind raced. Tracking devices didn't just appear in children's toys. This was deliberate, targeted. But by whom? And why now? He moved swiftly to the living room, checking vents, light fixtures, and shelves for anything out of place. Nothing. Then he headed to the small office he shared with Maria. Her desk was pristine, her laptop gone with her on the trip. But a locked drawer caught his eye, one she'd always said was for work stuff. Logan hesitated, then retrieved a lockpick kit from his old field bag. The drawer slid open, revealing a single USB drive tucked beneath a stack of papers. His jaw tightened. Maria wasn't careless. If she'd hidden this, it was for a reason. Plugging the drive into his secure laptop, one he'd kept from his FBI days, untraceable and firewalled, he ran a decryption program. Minutes later, files loaded. Emails, financial records, and cryptic memos. The sender's name was redacted, but the recipient was clear: Maria King. One line stood out, chilling in its simplicity: "He's a liability." The plan moves forward Friday. Today was Thursday. Logan's blood ran cold. The emails detailed a scheme to siphon millions from Nexus's government contracts, cybersecurity deals meant to protect national infrastructure. Maria wasn't just involved, she was orchestrating it. And the liability? That could only be him. He leaned back, the weight of betrayal sinking in. Maria, the woman who'd laughed with him over late-night pizza, who'd planned Emmy's birthday parties with meticulous care, was plotting against him. But why? Greed? Ambition? Or something darker? "Daddy, can we make pancakes?" Emmy's voice pulled him back. She stood in the doorway, crayons in hand, her innocence a stark contrast to the secrets unraveling around her. "In a bit, kiddo," he said, his voice steady despite the chaos in his head. "First, we're going to play a game. Remember how we practiced packing for an adventure?" Emmy's face lit up. "Like spies?" "Exactly like spies." Logan knelt beside her, brushing a curl from her forehead. "Go grab your red backpack, the one with your favorite snacks and Teddy. We're leaving soon." As Emmy darted upstairs, Logan dialed a number he hadn't used in years. The call connected after 2 rings. "Kira, it's me," he said, voice low. "I need your help. Now." Kira Vance, a former FBI analyst and one of the few people Logan still trusted, didn't hesitate. "What's going on?" "I found a tracking device in Emmy's bear." "And files, Maria's files." She's mixed up in something big. Nexus is dirty, and I think they're coming for me. A pause. Jesus, Logan. Get out of there. I'll meet you at the safe spot in 2 hours. Bring everything you've got. Logan hung up, his mind shifting to operational mode. He grabbed his go bag packed with cash, fake IDs, and a burner phone, another relic from his past Maria had always teased him about. Paranoid, she'd called him, laughing. Now he wondered how long she'd been playing him. He swept the house one last time, checking for cameras or bugs. In the garage, he inspected their SUV for tampering, sliding beneath it to scan the undercarriage. Clean. He secured Emmy's booster seat, then called her down. Ready for our adventure? He asked, lifting her into the car. Yup. Emmy clutched Teddy, her backpack bouncing. Where are we going? A special place, Logan said, glancing in the rearview mirror as they pulled out of the driveway. The rain had stopped, but the clouds hung low, heavy with warning. He drove in silence, taking a circuitous route to shake any tails. His phone buzzed, Maria's name flashed on the screen. His thumb hovered over decline. Let her wonder where they were. They were 5 miles out when a dull thump echoed behind them. Logan's eyes flicked to the mirror. A plume of smoke rose above the tree line, right where their house stood. Emmy turned, wide-eyed. Daddy, what was that? Just thunder, sweetheart, he lied, his knuckles white on the wheel. Keep coloring. But his mind was already at war. The explosion wasn't random. It was meant for them. Maria had crossed a line he hadn't thought possible. Whatever love they'd shared was gone, replaced by a cold resolve. She tried to erase him and Emmy. Now, he'd make sure she paid, not with violence, but with the truth, exposed for all to see. Logan King gripped the steering wheel as the SUV sped through Seattle's rain-slicked outskirts, the city's glow fading in the rearview mirror. His 8-year-old daughter, Emmy, sat in the back, humming softly, her crayon scratching against a coloring book. The plume of smoke from their destroyed home still lingered in Logan's mind, a deliberate act meant to bury him and Emmy in ash. His jaw clenched. Maria, his wife of 10 years, wasn't just cheating or scheming. She tried to kill them. The tracking device in Emmy's bear, the encrypted files on her USB drive, they pointed to a truth he couldn't unsee. Maria was neck-deep in a conspiracy at Nexus Technologies, and he was her loose end. Daddy, are we going camping? Emmy asked, her voice bright despite the late hour. She clutched her stuffed bear, Teddy, now free of the sinister device Logan had removed. Not exactly, sweetheart, Logan said, glancing at her in the mirror. Her wide eyes trusted him completely, and that trust fueled his resolve. We're on a secret mission, like in your spy stories. Emmy grinned. Cool. Does Mommy know? The question stung, but Logan kept his tone steady. We'll tell her later. For now, it's just you and me. He couldn't tell Emmy the truth, not yet. Maria's betrayal was a wound too raw, too complex for a child to grasp. Instead, he focused on the road, taking sharp turns and doubling back to ensure no one followed. His FBI training kicked in, every decision calculated. He'd already ditched his phone's SIM card and switched to a burner. No digital footprint. No mistakes. They pulled into a dimly lit motel parking lot an hour later, the neon sign flickering vacancy. It was the kind of place no one asked questions, perfect for staying off the grid. Logan carried Emmy inside, her backpack slung over his shoulder, and locked the door behind them. She curled up on the bed, still clutching Teddy, while Logan set up his secure laptop. He needed answers, and he needed them fast. A soft knock broke the silence. Logan's hand instinctively went to the concealed holster under his jacket, but he relaxed when he saw Kira Vance through the peephole. Her short auburn hair was damp from the rain, her expression grim. She was the only person he'd trusted with their location, a former FBI analyst who'd saved his skin more than once. Tell me you've got something, Logan said, letting her in. He kept his voice low to avoid waking Emmy. Kira dropped a flash drive onto the table. More than you're ready for. She plugged it into Logan's laptop, pulling up decrypted files from Maria's USB. Nexus is laundering millions through fake cybersecurity contracts with the government. Maria's not just involved, she's running the show with someone named Nathan Crow, their CEO. Look at this. She opened an email dated 3 days ago. King's getting too close. The device is set for 8 p.m. Friday. House will be empty by then, right? The reply from Maria, guaranteed. We frame it as a gas leak. No loose ends. Logan's stomach churned. The explosion hadn't been a warning, it was meant to erase them. They thought we'd be home, he muttered. Story time with Emmy. That's when we're always in the living room. Kira nodded, her face tight. There's more. Crow's got connections, politicians, private security firms. If they know you survived, they'll come after you again. And Emmy's not safe either. The words hit like a punch. Logan glanced at his daughter, now asleep, her small chest rising and falling. He'd failed to see Maria's deception, but he wouldn't fail Emmy. "We need to disappear," he said. "Somewhere they can't find us." "I've got a place in mind," Kira said. "But first, we need leverage. These files are a start, but we need hard evidence, something the feds can't ignore." Logan's mind raced. "Then we dig deeper. Nexus has to have records, servers, backups. If Maria's this sloppy, Crow's worse." Kira hesitated, then leaned closer. "Logan, there's something else. I found a second set of emails on the drive. Maria's been talking to someone else, not Crow. Someone outside Nexus. They're pressuring her to escalate. I couldn't trace them yet, but it's a wild card." "A new player?" Logan's instincts flared. Another twist in Maria's web, but he didn't have time to unravel it now. "Keep working on it," he said. "I'm taking Emmy somewhere safe." By dawn, Logan and Emmy were on the road again, heading south toward Oregon. He'd chosen his sister Caitlin's remote cabin in the Cascade Mountains, a place so off the grid it didn't exist on most maps. Caitlin, a fiercely independent artist with a knack for survival, was the only family Logan trusted to protect Emmy. The drive took 6 hours, with Logan switching routes twice to shake any tails. Emmy stayed quiet, sensing the tension despite his efforts to keep things light. When they arrived, Caitlin was waiting on the porch, her tattooed arms crossed, her sharp eyes scanning the horizon. At 32, she shared Logan's intensity, though she hid it behind a quick smile. "You look like hell," she said, pulling him into a hug. Then she knelt to Emmy. "Hey, kiddo, ready for an adventure with Aunt Kate?" Emmy nodded shyly, clutching her backpack. "Is it a spy adventure?" "The best kind," Caitlin said, winking. "We'll learn all sorts of tricks." Logan pulled Caitlin aside while Emmy explored the cabin's cozy interior. "This isn't a vacation," he said quietly. "Maria's involved in something dangerous. They blew up our house. Emmy can't know the details, but she needs to be ready. Counter-surveillance, escape routes. Make it fun, like a game." Caitlin's face hardened. "You're saying Maria did this?" "Your wife." "I don't have proof yet, but yeah." Logan's voice was flat, masking the rage beneath. "I need you to keep Emmy safe while I figure out who's pulling the strings." Caitlin nodded, no questions asked. "She's family. I've got her." That night, Logan sat with Emmy as she drew in her sketchbook. Her pencil moved quickly, capturing a memory. Maria packing a suitcase, her face tense. "Mommy looked sad before she left," Emmy said softly. She hugged Teddy extra tight. Logan's heart ached, but he kept his tone gentle. "You're really good at noticing things, kiddo. Keep drawing what you remember, okay? It's like being a detective." Emmy smiled, proud to help. But as Logan tucked her into bed, her small voice stopped him. "Daddy, is Mommy coming back?" He hesitated, the lie bitter on his tongue. "We'll see her soon," he said, kissing her forehead. "Sleep tight." Outside, under the starlit Oregon sky, Logan called Kira. "What's the latest?" "Bad news," she said, her voice strained. "Crow's covering his tracks. Nexus servers are being wiped remotely. But I pulled something before they locked me out, a memo mentioning a plan B if the explosion failed. They're already hunting you." Logan's grip tightened on the phone. Maria and Crow weren't done. They'd come for Emmy next, and he'd be damned if they got close. "Find me a way into Nexus," he said. "I'm not running anymore. I'm fighting back." As he hung up, a new fire burned in his chest, not vengeance, but justice. Maria had underestimated him, thinking he'd break under betrayal. She was wrong. Logan King was built for this, and he'd tear her empire down, brick by brick, to keep his daughters safe. The Oregon mountains stretched endlessly around Caitlin's cabin, their jagged peaks cloaked in dawn mist. Logan King stood on the porch, his breath visible in the crisp air, his eyes scanning the tree line for threats that weren't there yet. Inside, his 8-year-old daughter, Emmy, slept soundly, her stuffed bear tucked under her arm. 3 days had passed since their Seattle home was reduced to rubble, a calculated attempt to erase them. Logan's wife, Maria, was behind it, entangled with Nexus Technology CEO, Nathan Crow, in a multi-million-dollar money laundering scheme. The truth gnawed at him, but betrayal was a puzzle he'd solve later. Right now, keeping Emmy safe was all that mattered. His burner phone buzzed. Kira Vance, his old FBI ally. Logan answered, keeping his voice low. "What VE you got?" Kira's tone was heavy, urgent. "Logan, we need to talk. In person. I'm 10 minutes out." He frowned. Kira rarely took risks like this. Trouble? You could say that. She hung up, leaving a knot in his gut. Logan checked the cabin's perimeter, motion sensors intact, escape routes clear. Caitlin had turned the place into a fortress, blending her artist's eye with survivalist grit. He trusted her to protect Emmy, but trust was a fragile thing these days. Kira's Jeep rolled up, tires crunching gravel. She stepped out, her auburn hair tied back, her face pale under the morning light. Inside, she said, glancing over her shoulder. Logan led her to the kitchen, where Caitlin was brewing coffee, her sharp eyes catching Kira's tension. Spill it, Logan said, closing the door. Kira set her laptop on the table, her hands unsteady. I screwed up. Logan. Big time. She met his gaze, guilt etched in her features. Maria got to me. Months ago. She knew about my debts, medical bills from my mom's cancer treatment. She threatened to leak doctored records, make it look like I was selling FBI intel. I fed her info about you. Small stuff at first, like your routines. I didn't know about the explosion until it was too late. The words hit like a shockwave. Logan's fists clenched, but he kept his voice steady. You sold me out? Emmy out? His mind raced back to the tracking device and Teddy, the precision of the attack. Kira had been his lifeline, his eyes inside Nexus. Now, she was another crack in his crumbling world. I'm telling you now because I want to fix it, Kira said, her voice breaking. I stopped when I realized what she was planning. I've been digging into Nexus ever since, off the books. I can get you inside their system proof that'll bury Maria and Crow. Caitlin crossed her arms, her tone icy. Why should we trust you? You already betrayed him once. I don't expect trust, Kira shot back. I expect you to use me. I've got access to Nexus's backup servers. Give me a chance to make this right. Logan studied her, his FBI instincts weighing every micro-expression. She was scared, not just of him, but of something bigger. What's changed? He asked. Like I'm clean now. Kira opened a file on her laptop, an email fragment. Sender unknown. If King's alive, you're expendable. Finish it, or we will. It was addressed to Maria, dated yesterday. Someone's leaning on her, Kira said. Not Crow. Someone higher up. They know you're onto them, and they're tightening the noose. A new player. Logan's mind spun. Maria wasn't the mastermind, just a cog in a larger machine. But her hands were still dirty, and Emmy was still in danger. You get me those server files, he said finally. One slip, Kira, and you're done. She nodded, relief flickering in her eyes. I won't let you down again. As Kira left, Caitlin poured coffee, her voice low. You're playing with fire, trusting her. I'm not trusting her, Logan corrected. I'm using her. If she's lying, I'll know. Inside, Emmy was awake, sketching at the table. Her latest drawing stopped Logan cold, a tall man in a suit, standing with Maria in their old living room. That's the man Mommy talked to, Emmy said, pointing. Before her trip. She gave him a black folder and said, this ends it. She looked sad, Daddy. Logan's pulse quickened. He recognized the man's sharp features from Nexus's website, Nathan Crow. But Emmy's words echoed. She looked sad. Was Maria conflicted, or was it another act? You're amazing, kiddo, he said, ruffling her hair. Keep noticing things. It's our secret mission. Emmy beamed, proud to help. Logan tucked the drawing away, a new piece of the puzzle. He stepped outside to call Kira, but Caitlin stopped him. I'm teaching Emmy some tricks today, she said. How to spot a stranger's car, how to hide in the woods. I'll make it a game, but she'll be ready if trouble comes. Good, Logan said. Don't scare her. She's been through enough. Caitlin's eyes softened. She's tougher than you think. Like her dad. By noon, Logan was back on the road, heading to a safe house Kira had arranged, a rundown cabin 2 hours away. She was waiting with a stack of printouts and a grim expression. Nexus's servers are a goldmine, she said, spreading documents across a table. Crow's been skimming 10% off every contract for 3 years. Maria handles the transfers, offshore accounts in Singapore, the Caymans. But here's the kicker. Someone's been siphoning a cut from their cut. That's who's threatening her. Logan scanned a bank record, untraceable deposits, coded as oversight. This third party, he said, they're cleaning house. Maria and Crow are liabilities now, just like me. Exactly, Kira said. But there's a window. Nexus is hosting a gala tomorrow night. Bigwigs, government types. Crow will be there. If we can tap their network during the event, we'll get everything. Names, accounts, maybe even this mystery player. Logan nodded, his mind already mapping the op. I'll need credentials, a way in without tripping alarms. I'm working on it, Kira said. But Logan, Maria called me last night. She's desperate. Says she needs to talk to you. Claims she didn't want the explosion, that Crow forced her hand. Logan's laugh was bitter. She's playing victim now? I saw her emails, Kira. She planned it. Maybe, Kira said cautiously. But if she's cracking, we can use that. Get her to slip. Give us more. He considered it, the tactician in him weighing options. Maria's lies were a weapon he could turn against her. Set up a call, he said. Secure line. I want to hear her squirm. That evening, back at Caitlin's, Logan sat with Emmy as she drew again, this time, a forest with a cabin, figures standing together. That's us, she said, pointing. You, me, and Kate. Safe. His heart ached. Always, kiddo. But as he tucked her in, her small voice stopped him. Daddy, what if Mommy's sorry? Can she come back? The question cut deep, but Logan kept his face calm. We'll figure it out, he lied, hating the necessity. Maria's remorse, if real, changed nothing. She crossed a line no apology could erase. Outside, under a starless sky, Logan's phone lit up. Kira. Galas ago, she said. I've got your way in. But there's a problem. Crow's hired muscle private security, ex-mercenary. If they spot you, it's over. Then they won't spot me, Logan said, his voice cold. Maria and Crow thought they'd broken him, scattered his pieces in that explosion. They were wrong. He was closing in, and this time, he'd strike first, not with fists, but with proof that would lock them away for good. The Cascade Mountains loomed dark and silent, their peaks swallowing the last of the moonlight. Inside Caitlin's cabin, Logan King sat at a battered wooden table, his eyes locked on a grainy surveillance feed from his laptop. The footage, hacked from Nexus Technologies servers, showed his wife, Maria, and CEO Nathan Crow in a heated exchange. Their words were muffled, but the intent was clear. They were planning their next move. Logan's jaw tightened. A week had passed since he and his 8-year-old daughter, Emmy, escaped the explosion that demolished their Seattle home, a trap meant to silence them. Maria's betrayal cut deeper than any wound, but Logan, a former FBI agent, wasn't breaking. He was building a case to bury her and Crow for good. His burner phone buzzed. Kira Vance's voice crackled through. You ready? Galas tonight. Nexus's entire network will be exposed if you pull this off. Logan glanced at a photo pinned to the wall. Emmy, smiling with her stuffed bear. Teddy. I'm ready, he said, voice steady. Credentials. Sent. You're James Carter, IT consultant. Badge gets you past security. I've looped their cameras for 10 minutes, your window to plant the device. Kira's redemption was still on thin ice after her confession. She'd fed Maria intel under blackmail. Logan didn't trust her fully, but her access to Nexus's systems was his best shot. Any sign of that third party? He asked, recalling the cryptic emails threatening Maria. Nothing solid, Kira said. But Crow's jumpy. He's doubled security. Watch your back. Logan ended the call, slipping into a tailored suit that felt foreign after years of jeans and tactical gear. Caitlin emerged from the kitchen, her tattooed arms crossed. You sure about this? Sneaking into Nexus's gala screams suicide mission. It's not suicide, Logan said, checking his gear. A tiny USB drive to hack their servers, a concealed earpiece, no weapons. It's surgical. I get in, plant the device, get out. Feds get the rest. Caitlin's eyes softened. Emmy's asking questions. Drew another picture today, Maria, looking scared. Kid's got a memory like a steel trap. Logan's chest tightened. Emmy's sketches had already helped, capturing details like Crow's face. Keep her drawing, he said. And keep her safe. Always, Caitlin promised. She's learning to spot tire tracks in the dirt. Calls it her spy game. Logan managed a faint smile, then left for Seattle. The drive was 3 hours, his mind mapping every exit, every contingency. Nexus's gala was at their downtown headquarters, a glass tower glowing against the night sky. Politicians, tech moguls, and government contractors mingled inside, oblivious to the rot beneath. Logan adjusted his tie, flashed his fake badge, and slipped past security with a nod. His pulse stayed even. Years of fieldwork had taught him to thrive under pressure. Inside, crystal chandeliers cast light over tuxedos and gowns. Logan blended in, a ghost among the elite. He spotted Maria across the room, radiant in a navy dress, laughing with a senator. Her mask was flawless, but Logan saw the cracks, tense shoulders, eyes darting. Crow stood nearby, his hand grazing her arm, possessive. Logan's blood simmered, but he pushed it down. Emotion was a liability. He moved to the server room, a restricted wing disguised as maintenance. Kira's looped feet held, cameras showed an empty hall. Using a stolen keycard, he slipped inside, the hum of servers filling the air. He plugged the USB device into a port, its program designed to copy Nexus's financial records and email logs. A progress bar ticked up, 10%, 20%. Then, an alert flashed, asterisk intrusion detected. Asterisk. Damn it, Logan muttered. Someone had tripped a silent alarm. He yanked the device, now at 60%, and bolted for the exit. Footsteps echoed behind him, security, fast. He ducked into a stairwell, heart pounding, and activated his earpiece. Kira, what the hell happened? They've got a secondary system I didn't know about, she hissed. Get out now. Crow's goons are sweeping the building. Logan descended 2 floors, emerging near the gala's edge. He blended back into the crowd, but his eyes caught a new face, a man, mid-40s, hard features, scanning the room like a predator. Not Nexus Security. Not FBI. The third party? Logan didn't wait to find out. He slipped through a service door, exiting into an alley where Rain greeted him like an old friend. Back at the safe house, Logan reviewed the partial data. It was gold. Emails between Maria and Crow, detailing $15 million funneled through shell companies. But one line froze him. Asterisk, the girls are leverage. Find her. And King folds. Asterisk, they were targeting Emmy. He called Caitlin. Titan Security. They're coming for her. On it, she said. Emmy's fine, drawing wolves now. Says they're protectors. Logan's relief was fleeting. He dialed Kira. I've got enough to tip the feds, but Crow's not done. We need more. I'm pulling camera feeds from the gala, she said. Wait, Logan, Maria's on the move. She's meeting someone tonight, alone. Hotel downtown. A crack in Maria's armor. Track her, Logan said. I want eyes on that meeting. Hours later, Kira sent a grainy photo. Maria in a hotel lobby, handing a flash drive to a woman in a trench coat. Not Crow. Not the mystery man. Another twist, Maria was playing her own game. Who is she? Logan demanded. Working on it, Kira said. But Logan, the feds are sniffing around Nexus. Your data's stirring things up. Good. But Crow wasn't waiting. The next night, Logan woke to a faint beep from Caitlin's perimeter sensors. He grabbed his flashlight, slipping into the woods around the cabin. A figure moved in the shadows, Crow's hired muscle, ex-mercenary, judging by the gear. Logan didn't fight. He triggered a decoy alarm, a trick Caitlin had rigged. Lights flared, mimicking police strobes. The man froze, then fled, tires screeching as he vanished. Back inside, Emmy was awake, clutching Teddy. Was that a bad guy, Daddy? Just a raccoon, Logan lied, hugging her tight. Go back to sleep. Caitlin met his gaze. That was no raccoon. I know, Logan said, voice low. They're closing in. He called Kira at dawn. Feds need everything now. Emails, transfers, the gala feed. I'm done playing defense. Uploading as we speak, she said. But Logan, Maria called again. Says she's sorry. Wants to meet. What's your play? Logan stared at Emmy's latest drawing. Maria, alone, tears in her eyes. Sorry or not, Maria had chosen this path. No meet, he said. She talks to the feds or no one. As the sun rose, Logan felt the tide turning. Crow's empire was cracking, Maria was faltering, and the feds were closing in. But the third party lingered, a shadow he couldn't yet name. He wasn't just fighting for justice, he was fighting for Emmy's future. And he burned Nexus to the ground before they touched her. The Seattle federal courthouse stood like a monolith under a gray April sky, its stone facade swarmed by reporters hungry for the final chapter of Nexus Technologies' collapse. Inside, Logan King sat in the back row of courtroom 7, his face unreadable. At 38, the former FBI agent had spent months dismantling the empire his wife, Maria, and her accomplice, Nathan Crow, had built on lies and blood. Their attempt to kill him and his 8-year-old daughter, Emmy, had failed, but the scars remained. Today, justice would close the wound, or so Logan hoped. The courtroom hushed as Maria was led in, her wrists cuffed, her once polished demeanor replaced by a gray prison jumpsuit. Her eyes found Logan's, a flicker of shame crossing her face before she looked away. Crow followed, his tailored suit gone, his arrogance dimmed by weeks in custody. The gallery buzzed. Nexus's downfall was national news, a tale of greed, betrayal, and a father's relentless fight to protect his child. Logan's mind drifted to Emmy, safe with his sister Caitlin in their new Oregon home. Her latest drawing, a meadow with a family of deer, sat folded in his pocket, a reminder of the life they were rebuilding. But this moment, this reckoning, was the final step. The prosecutor rose, her voice cutting through the silence. Your Honor, Maria King and Nathan Crow orchestrated a $15 million money laundering scheme through Nexus Technologies, defrauding government contracts. Worse, they conspired to murder Logan King and his daughter, Emmy, to cover their crimes. Evidence, emails, financial records, and surveillance proves their guilt beyond doubt. She displayed a damning email, one Logan had uncovered. Maria's words, cold and precise, planning the explosion that destroyed their home. The courtroom stirred, whispers rippling. Maria's attorney stood, her tone measured. Mrs. King pleads guilty, but under duress. Mr. Crow coerced her, threatening her daughter's safety. Logan's jaw tightened. Maria's remorse was a performance. He'd seen her lies before. The judge, a stern woman with gray streaks in her hair, leaned forward. Counselor, the evidence shows Mrs. King initiated the murder plot. Her emails are unequivocal. Proceed. The prosecutor projected a new piece of evidence, a hotel lobby photo, grainy but clear, Maria handing a flash drive to a woman in a trench coat, the mysterious third-party Logan had chased. This individual, the prosecutor said, remains unidentified but is linked to an offshore account that siphoned funds from Nexus. Mrs. King attempted to secure her own escape, betraying even her co-conspirator. Crow's face twitched, a crack in his composure. Logan leaned forward. The third-party shadow had haunted him, but today it didn't matter. Maria and Crow were cornered. The prosecutor continued, detailing Logan's role. Mr. King, risking his life, provided the FBI with critical evidence, server logs, gala footage, and intercepted communications. Without him, this conspiracy might have gone unchecked. The defense faltered, their arguments drowned by the weight of proof. Maria took the stand, her voice trembling. I lost myself, she said, eyes downcast. Greed blinded me. I never meant for Emmy to be hurt. I thought I could control it. She looked at Logan, tears falling. I'm sorry. I know it's not enough. Logan met her gaze, his expression stone. Her apology was hollow, too late, too calculated. The flash drive she'd hidden in Emmy's bear wasn't to save them. It was her insurance against Crow. The judge's gavel snapped his thoughts. Maria King, you are sentenced to life imprisonment without parole for conspiracy to commit murder, fraud, and money laundering. Nathan Crow, the same, with additional charges for racketeering. Justice demands no less. Maria crumpled, a sob escaping as marshals led her away. Crow's eyes burned with defiance, but he said nothing. The courtroom emptied, reporters shouting questions Logan ignored. Outside, Caitlin's friend Kira Vance waited, her face somber. She'd redeemed her betrayal by feeding the FBI key data, but the cost lingered. It's over, she said. Interpol's chasing that third party, but Maria and Crow won't see daylight again. Logan nodded, the weight of months lifting, though not fully. Thanks, Kira, for finishing what you started. She managed a faint smile. Tell Emmy I'm bringing her those art supplies. Back in Oregon, the Cascades bloomed with spring. Logan and Emmy's new home, a cedar cabin overlooking a valley, felt like a sanctuary. Emmy ran through the garden, her laughter echoing as she chased Felix, their German shepherd puppy. Caitlin, now running a yoga studio nearby, knelt beside her, planting wildflowers. Kira, a regular visitor, had become Emmy's honorary aunt, her guilt easing with every smile she coaxed from the girl. Logan watched from the porch, a mug of coffee in hand. The PTSD that once drove him to patrol at midnight had softened, thanks to therapy and Emmy's resilience. She was healing, her nightmares fading, her sketches now vibrant with hope, forests, stars, their new family. But questions lingered. That night, as he tucked her into bed, Emmy's voice was small. Daddy, why did Mommy do it? Logan sat beside her, choosing truth over comfort. Sometimes people make bad choices because they want too much. Mommy got lost in that. But we're stronger because we choose love and honesty. Emmy nodded, clutching Teddy. Are we safe now? Always, Logan said, tapping her heart. I'm right here. Weeks later, at a local spring festival, Emmy's artwork hung proudly, a painting of their cabin, surrounded by deer and wildflowers. She darted between booths, her confidence a stark contrast to the haunted girl of months past. Caitlin, Kira, and Logan followed, their makeshift family complete. A reporter approached, asking about Nexus, but Logan waved her off. The past was done. That evening, Caitlin handed him a letter, prison-stamped, from Maria. Logan hesitated, then burned it unopened in the fire pit. Whatever Maria wanted, forgiveness, closure, it changed nothing. She'd lost Emmy, lost him, lost everything. Justice wasn't revenge, it was consequences, and she'd face them every day in her cell. As stars emerged, Emmy ran to Logan, holding a daisy. "For you, Daddy. Can we get ice cream?" He laughed, the sound freer than it had been in years. "Best idea all day." They walked to the car, Felix bounding ahead, Caitlin and Kira joking beside them. Logan glanced at Emmy, her smile brighter than the moonlight. They hadn't just survived, they'd rebuilt, stronger, rooted in trust and truth. Maria and Crow's empire was ash, but Logan and Emmy's future was alive, blooming, and theirs alone. Let me know in the comments. What would you do if you found yourself in the shoes of the main characters, caught in a web of betrayal and revenge?